So imagine this, an asteroid of 100 kilometers size. It was just discovered and it would hit Earth within a year. But scientists are not really sure if it will hit or not. They calculate a 10% probability that it will hit Earth. Now the president of the USA, whoever it might be, is forced to a decision. Does he do nothing? Or does he send some atomic bombs that will blow up the asteroid? If this asteroid would hit Earth, no human on Earth would survive. If he blows up the asteroid, humanity as a whole would survive, but 100 million people would die. What does he do? After all, it's not very likely that this asteroid will hit Earth, right? It will miss 90% of the time. If he does something, he's killing 100 million people. Now this decision might be the most important decision anyone ever has made in human history. Now, I could totally see the president saying something like, yeah, it will most likely miss, let's hope for the best. And maybe he will ask his scientists, and they say, yeah, there's a 90% chance that it will miss. It's more likely to miss than not. And most humans think in terms of it's likely to happen or it's not likely to happen. It's maybe 50-50. So basically, is it gonna happen or not? That's what humans want to know. But if you don't, and you don't, then you have to be able to calculate what to do in those situations. It's not only important in this decision, but almost every situation where you don't know if something is gonna happen and it has some impact on your life.
Imagine you go shopping. You're going to visit two supermarkets. In the first supermarket, you see the monster drinks that you urgently need. But they seem really expensive. They cost $2 each. You're pretty sure that in the other supermarket, they have cheaper monster drinks. Do you buy them now or do you wait and buy on the other shop? This is something you don't know. Hence, you can assign a probability to it. Also consider there's a third possibility, that they are out of stock of monster in the second shop. And then you would have to drive back to the first shop because you really need that monster. Now, if the probability is 90% that the monster drink in shop number 2 is costing only $1, a 5% chance that it costs as much as the other shop, and a 5% chance that they are out of stock, you have to drive back, and therefore the cost of the monster is gonna be $5. So the expected cost of buying it right now is $2. The expected cost of waiting and buying it in shop number 2 is 0.9 times 1 plus 0.05 times 2 plus 0.05 times 5. So that's 1.25. So it's better to wait in this situation.
There's a lot of decisions that might have important impacts to you personally. Then you have to know what to do. I bet the president would not know what to do. He would probably say, I'm not killing 100 million people. This asteroid is gonna miss. And he's gonna be right if anyone knows about it. So maybe a good point for him. But the concept the president and you should learn about here is expected value. If that asteroid hits Earth, it's gonna kill 7 billion people. And on top of that, and I'm not even gonna count that, but actually more importantly, as you might see in this video, all future humans are also not gonna be born. That's a lot more human potentially than are living right now. But let's go with the 7 billion. If there's a 10% chance that the asteroid will kill 7 billion people, the expected deaths from this asteroid without the knowledge where it's actually gonna be is 700 million. If we do nothing. And if we do, the estimate is gonna be 100 million. Now those are all still estimates. The probability is an estimate too. And the 100 million is an estimate. But an estimate is better as no estimate. So maybe it's 200 million, maybe it's 50 million. But on average, 100 million people will die if we blow it up. And if we do nothing, on average, 700 million people will die instantly.
When I say on average here, you might be saying, but I'm doing this only once. And I can't stress this enough. This doesn't matter. Your whole life is one big session. The expected outcome on average, if you pretend to do it a million times, will be that. You might do this decision only once, but there are so many decisions in your life, and your life is one big session of bets. Some of them will turn out for the worst, and some of them will turn out for the better. On average, it's very important to see it like that.
Now that's just the expected value. 90% of the time, so the majority of the time, the option to do nothing seems like the better option in hindsight. So if you want to see it from a happiness standpoint, maybe it is better to do nothing. Because 90% of the time, everybody's gonna celebrate on Earth. And 10% of the time, well, we all be dead, with no celebration there. But also no mourning. And in the other case, 100% of the time, Earth will go into a very devastating situation. So it's going to be always devastating 100% of the time. While in the other case, it's only going to be devastating 10% of the time. So if you calculate with expected value, you always got to know what the value is you are calculating for. If the value you're optimizing for is happiness for the people living on Earth right now, then maybe doing nothing is better. If the value that you are optimizing for is human lives, then blowing up the asteroid would be better. There's also other examples. Let's imagine 2 billionaires. One of the billionaires has $10 billion. The other guy has $20 billion. So the guy with the $20 billion comes to the guy that has has $10 billion and offers him a bet. He wants to coin flip for all his money. If he guesses right, if it's heads or tails, he's gonna get 10 billion, and if he's wrong, he's gonna lose all of his money. The expected value for that bet is 0. There's a 50% chance that you will end up with $20 billion. The value of the flip is $10 billion, and you're also paying $10 billion. So the expected value of the flip is $10 billion if you do it. And if you don't do it, you still have the $10 billion. So the EV gain here is 0. So the guy with the 10 billion says, are you crazy? I'm not doing that. And then the 20 billion guy offers the 10 billion guy another bet. He says, if you're right, you're getting $15 billion. If you're wrong, you still owe me all your money. So what's the expected value for that? There's a 50% chance that he will end up with 25 billion. So the expected value, 0.5 times 25 billion, 12.5 billion. So the expected value is, if he does the flip, is 12.5 billion. If he doesn't do it, he has 10 billion. So he would gain on average an expected $2.5 billion. Should he do it? I mean, the expected value is larger, right? That is another case where you have to decide what value you're optimizing for. Are the 15 million you can gain worth as much as the 10 billion you can lose? If you do the calculation for just money and you value it as much as the first 10 billion, you should do it. If you value it from a point how this is gonna change your life, however, you should probably not do it. 50% of the time you're gonna win and you're gonna have 25 billion instead of 10. How is that gonna change your life? Well, you might be a little bit more powerful. You can control a little bit more companies maybe, but that's about it. Companies that before that the other guy was controlled. So that's what's gonna change if you win. If you lose, you're going bankrupt. So this is a case where you should really optimize for overall life happiness. But you can assign values to certain amounts of money. You can have some measurement even if you estimate it for outcomes. And then if you do that EV calculation, it's really helpful to do decisions in your life.
In my last video, Bosch Piano Music, who is obviously also a poker player, congratulated me on this plus EV happening. That is beautifully said. There's a multitude of outcomes that can still happen. So instead of saying, I hope everything will go well with giving birth, he said, congratulations on the plus EV, which is definitely very plus EV. The expected outcome is we will be very, very happy. The EV, the expected value, we already have right now. Thank you for that comment.
So that is a concept that I want my future child to know. And the whole channel is going to be about concepts that I want my child to know. Sub here and check out the videos here.